Well, so far the fact that both sides of these warring factions are willing to come together under the auspices of the United Nations here in neutral Sweden is a very important first step. It's the first time that this is happening in 2 years. And of course, we are a long ways away here in the Swedish countryside from the mountains and desert battlefield of Yemen and a war that's ravaged that country. So hopes all around by the United Nations and by both the government side and the Houthi insurgents that these talks could at least pave the way forward for what could be a foundation for peace talks between both sides. So expectations are, we're being told to manage these expectations. And here more to tell us about what we can expect is Yemeni expert and an award-winning Yemeni journalist, Afrah Nasser. Afrah, what can possibly come out from these talks? Do you think both sides are willing to negotiate?
I second what you said about how important that the two parties are willing to sit down. And for me, I got like a goosebump actually watching both the Houthi and the legitimate government sitting face to face for the first time in the last 2 years. This is also the second time they sit down. It was previously in Kuwait. And you have to remember that Kuwait and Sweden are regarded somehow like or respected by the warring parties because they're both like not involved in the conflict and they respect human rights. So it's a very, very important to have this environment. So it's very, very crucial to have this opportunity and come out at least, if not any political plan or any peace plan, but at least to achieve some of the basic goals, and that is ceasefire and opening Sanaa airport.
Do you think the Houthi militants would be willing to make these concessions that the government side is asking?
I think both parties are very tired of the war. They're exhausted by a day of the continuation of the war. And it's very also important to take into consideration what are like global politics changing, because Yemen war is no longer about Yemenis fighting each other. It's no longer about a civil war inside Yemen. You have what the Emiratis want, what the Saudis want, and especially Saudi Arabia losing international acceptance following Jamal Khashoggi's tragic murder in the Saudi consulate in Turkey. I think there is an international pressure on Saudi Arabia, and they are willing to accept these talks or welcome these talks because they really have to save some face in face of the international pressure and the condemnation because of the outrageous murder of the Saudi journalist.